Marco,
Sean.
this is the big vroom vroom.
I was thinking the first time we went up in San Francisco for RSA conference, did we go with a carriage and horses? Was that long ago?
I think it was.
Uh,
I think it was.
It's
I'm
very-
sure.
when was your first one? When was the first time you attended
1800. 1872.
11 years ago?
No, Sean started actually much earlier than me.
Yeah, I've been there.
I think I'm up to, 11, 12, 13? I don't know. Something like that.
Impressive.
Something like
Yeah, I got the badge.
Love it.
Yeah, the Loyalty Plus.
You don't believe me? There it
Look at
is.
That is a
Wow.
valuable pin.
Right?
It is a valuable pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch. We have some attendees that wear their pins from prior years, and there's a few folks that it's, the entire lanyard is covered.
Right.
It's impressive and heavy.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, there are many years I think I used multiple email addresses and I missed out on a number of them. But anyway, last year I got that all sorted. I think Ben, you helped. Ben, who was behind the scenes, helped make that happen. We're not here to talk about pins, though they are fun.
It's part,
Loyalty.
it's part
It's
of
part
the
of the
event.
whole thing.
Right?
Loyalty
Exactly,
Plus
Linda.
is a really cool thing. I mean, there's a lot of Loyalty Plus members. To your point, Britta, I see many people walking around with that, which
And that is the excitement
yeah,
of RSAC conference, is all those people.
Yeah. Exactly.
exactly. So for people listening, they hear voices, they don't know who they are. If you see us on screen, you have an idea. But this is our annual on location chats on the road to RSAC conference in San Francisco. Marco and I love this event, and we enjoy having this kickoff episode to kind of give an overview of what's going on, what's new, what's changed, what can we expect. And I'm thrilled to have Linda Gray Martin and Britta Glade on with us again. Good to see you both.
You as
Oh, it's great
well.
to see you. We love this chat. So thank you for having us.
It's great to have you. And your dog is there, or is that a cat?
So this is my cat Winston.
All right, the cat's in the
My
frame,
desk,
and the dog is at
but
the feet.
yeah, the
All right.
dog will be wandering around. So yeah, apologies to everyone if there's a random bark or a meow in the background.
Oh, we love that.
We
It's
love the
feeding
random-
time, and so everyone's a little bit fractious.
And watch for those furry faces at RSAC conference. Our
Ooh.
pets are featured.
Yeah.
When you look at the
Ooh.
digital
Oh, yeah,
messaging and all,
that's right.
you will see many pets because we all love them.
We
Part of
have-
the culture.
we have- Pets are part of our lives. That's absolutely
That's right.
for sure.
All right. So the goal of this conversation, as you well know, because we've done it every year, most of the time, we want to know what's gonna happen. What is different from the year before? Bigger, better, more exciting. And I don't know how you can pull that off because I feel like every year is perfect. And then you're like, no, all done. We got more. So I want to know what excites you, and we want to share that excitement with everybody that is either coming or are going to follow our coverage and see what's going on without having the opportunity to be in San Francisco. So,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
what are you excited about?
Oh, so I think I say this every year, but I truly mean it, that we get so excited in the run up to the conference because you kind of know what's coming, and we get there and you're part of this really vibrant community, and everyone is genuinely so excited to see each other. I love that. You do really run into old friends, and people are just so excited about it. So I love that. So just you can feel within the virtual walls of RSA conference, because we all work remotely, or RSAC conference, sorry, that the excitement is mounting. You can just feel it, the intensity, and it's coming, and we just cannot wait to get there. We are working hard, as you said, to create a great experience for all of our attendees. And if you like, I can just run through a couple of new things that people can expect this year, if that's all right. So, obviously content is refreshed each year, tracks are new and different dependent on what's going on in the industry. Britta will talk a little bit about that, but just operationally, a couple of things. So first of all, we are expanding our campus this year, and we are taking over the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts, which we are actually really excited about. I'm not sure if you've been in there, but it's a beautiful space. Very excitingly, we have the auditorium, which is going to be housing the former South Stage Keynote program. So it's now been renamed the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts Keynote Program, or the YBCA Keynotes, because that's quite a mouthful. But if you are standing looking at Moscone North, it's literally to the right. So it already feels like it's part of the campus. So it's like a great location, and it's a beautiful theater. The San Francisco Ballet has been inhabiting it for a while. So it's really, it's like a performance auditorium and stage. So it's going to be fantastic. So a couple of other things that we're housing in there, the Sandbox program is going to be moving there, which is where we have kind of hands-on experiences ranging from kind of capture the flags to an escape room. But very excitingly this year, we are partnering with DARPA, who are bringing their AI Cyber Challenge to RSA conference. And they run this at DEF CON 2. So we're excited to have them join us. But basically, you go on an immersive journey to a fictional town called Northbridge, and it's really designed to showcase the importance of AI-driven cybersecurity and how it's protecting our critical infrastructure. They even have a little train that you can go on,
a big train,
simulated train ride to take you into Northbridge, and I think people are going to be really blown away by it. It's super exciting. We are really thrilled by this. I think it's going to bring something very new and different for our attendees. So that is a big change and a big program add this year. One other thing I wanted to point out is that it is the 20th anniversary of Innovation Sandbox. And I know you're speaking to Cecilia next week, so I'm not going to steal any of her thunder. But that is a huge milestone for us, a huge milestone for this program. We have an expanded space for the program in Moscone South, which is part of the reason we have taken on YBCA and made some of these kind of like space changes. More to come on that from Cecilia next week. And then also Early Stage Expo. It's another kind of part of our innovation programming, has an expanded footprint, which is great. You know, there's a definite need there. So it's an exciting space for people. I know people love going into it and seeing what some of the kind of new up and coming companies and products in the space are. So yeah, those are just some highlights of new stuff.
I love it. Are the winners of the Sandbox going to ride the carousel?
Oh, do you know? I don't think that's part of the program, but I like it.
They're the round robin there. I love it.
Tune in 2026.
Yeah.
Floating some new ideas here.
Love
Always.
It. Yeah.
All right. So a lot of expansion, which is really fun. Extra steps coming. we get to walk around more.
Steps. Yeah, for sure.
Steps. And I think one of the things Marco and I were noticing, and I don't know if it's an optical illusion or what, you kind of put the myth to bed, but it seemed like there's a lot more content, a lot more speakers. I don't know. There's been announcements about keynotes. That list seems long already as well, and not just long, but really cool people. So, I don't know who can share a bit about the programming. Obviously, how that comes together this year. What are some of the highlights and
yeah, well, we can both share a bit. So, like, this is where Britta and I are a good double act. So, I mean, I can talk a little bit about the West Stage, because as you know, we've got two stages. So we have the West Stage, where we predominantly have our sponsor keynotes, we have panels, we have guest speakers, and then the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts keynote, YBCA keynote program, is mainly where we hear from some of the leading industry experts, and Britta will be a perfect person to give you an overview on that. But as you say, we put out our keynote press release this morning with a long list of some of the amazing people that we've got. I'm just going to highlight a couple of the guest speakers for you, because people always enjoy them, and you know, they may not be cyber related, but they bring a different perspective. Then these speakers make you think about something different, and hopefully have a positive influence on your experience. So First up, we have two-time NBA Hall of Famer, entrepreneur, and philanthropist Magic Johnson. So we are super excited about him. He is meant to be an incredible speaker, and I think he's going to bring such an energy to Wednesday. He's doing the Wednesday morning keynote, so I'm going a little bit out of order. Secondly, and somebody on the Tuesday, actually, Academy Award-winning filmmaker Ron Howard. Again, someone we're so excited about because he's just a phenomenal director, but he's a phenomenal storyteller. And Britta, I know you've done a lot of research on Ron, and I think it would be great for you to share some of the thoughts that you had. But you know, some of the films he's directed are incredible, and I think will really resonate with our audience.
Absolutely. And the diversity of films that he's done, right? And we've all seen him grow up. He was Opie. He was Richie Cunningham. He's now this director behind. He's kind of been everything. And you look at, and I don't want to take away from the stories I know he's going to tell on stage. So we won't tease, we won't give you too much of it. But you know, think about some of his films. Solo, A Beautiful Mind. I know everyone has something that comes to mind. And as beautifully, he'll be interviewed by his daughter, who is a very successful actress, director, producer by her own right. But you know, how special is this to have her in conversation with her father, pulling some of those different stories out. So I'm very much looking forward to that one.
It's really cool. And I love you mentioned Richie Cunningham, because for me, I was a big Happy Days fan when I was a kid. So for me, he's always going to be that. Like I look at him now in the picture, I'm like, God, it's Ricky Cunningham.
Yeah, but it's exactly the same for me, Marco, especially not growing up in the States, growing up in the UK. Happy Days was like one of my first introductions to US culture, honestly.
Yeah, the 50s, you know, the rock and roll.
Exactly.
And
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah,
I was going to point out he touches everything globally in that sense.
Yeah,
right.
He really does.
Exactly.
Yeah, and definitely
really
the fact is there with his daughter. That's going to be really, really, really cool.
Really special.
Very special.
Nice choice right there.
Yeah,
great.
And then just a shout out for our closing celebration. We went in a slightly different direction this year, and something we are super excited about. And Jamie Foxx is going to be in conversation with Hugh Thompson. He's kind of like the main event. We've got some fantastic performances as well, and artists taking part. So DJ Irie, who is a DJ out of Miami, and who actually I believe is a friend of Jamie Foxx. He's going to be getting it all going. And then we're actually showcasing some local San Francisco talent with a group called Jazz Mafia, who are kind of like a funk soul, a bit of everything, kind of collective of incredibly talented musicians. So they're going to be playing a part in that as well. So something different this year, something we're super excited about, but still a closing celebration. I think it's important we all just take a breath and enjoy something a bit special at the end of a long, hectic week.
Yeah. And you know what? The next person is going to tell me, oh, you go to a cybersecurity conference. That must be really boring. I'm going to be like, you know what? Here it is. And I'm going to show. You know, I mean, that's like pure entertainment right there.
It is. But we're also thoughtful about these guest speakers. It's not just kind of random celebrities for the sake of it. Everybody has an interesting story to tell.
Right.
That, you know, we hope people take to their hearts. And, you know, and Jamie Foxx himself has had some personal stuff that he's been going through with his, the stroke he had a couple of years ago, and his kind of fight back to good health. So, we're really looking for, he seems like a fantastic character, and we're really looking forward to having him join us.
I know you're very thoughtful about it. And these, while they all are celebrities, which have their own power to get people to pause and actually engage for a moment, I know you're very thoughtful about the story they're going to tell, the connection it will have with the audience. It may not be tools and threat intelligence driven conversation, but they are stories that touch us and get us to think differently how we do our jobs, how we connect with each other, how we bring together a community to do what's important.
Yeah. Which is something I've always appreciated with your program, with how you've approached things in the human part of things, the human element. And we've got lots of the technology and the threats and the, how do you configure your network, et cetera, et cetera. But when we look at our surveys, when we look at the sessions people attend, when we look at the call for speaker submissions that come in, the human bond, the human piece, the human challenge is something that will always be there. And the speakers that Linda just overviewed, you've got Magic Johnson, where, his famous element is the art of the assist. And that's what he'll be leaning into in the presentation. Who among us as, as humans, but also as cybersecurity professionals, do you not have that need to work with someone, an assistance, a setting someone up, being the playmaker and looking at the overall view of things? Storytelling, which Linda touched on with Ron Howard. How do you talk to the board? How do you talk to the other business units? How do you talk to others? So all of us need to craft language. We need to tell a story. And then, Jamie Foxx with some of the things that he's had to overcome. So there's a direct lean into the challenges we see across our industry. Hopefully it's going to be entertaining. Hopefully you're going to remember all of it because of the fact that it's going to be presented in a different way. But it's part of the experience we try to create at RSAC conference to make that long-term impact on the industry.
Yeah, I love your touch on the human element. I think we talk a little bit about that every year when we have this, because it went from, again, being very technical to actually featuring a few years ago. Actually, the human element was the core of the theme of the conference, and I think since then it's always been around the community. So about innovation, getting together, and be a tight community, because I think what you said about Magic Johnson, we all need each other. You can't just be in a silos and do your thing. So talking about community, anything, like, I know there are a lot of things that are probably going to repeat from the year before on how the people can get together on the floor. Anything, Britta, about that you want to highlight?
I would love to highlight, and I appreciate your setup there, because everything at RSAC conference is of, by, for the community. We lean in very deeply to how do we better serve the experts, the people who are part of this ecosystem. So, peeling it all back, when we look at setting up the content for conference, again, we have that call for speakers process. We have over 150 different experts who are part of our program committee. We are leaning into what is the community asking us that they want to see. And a couple of new things that came up through that analysis this year. We have our idea of where we're going to have sessions, and then we have where they actually land after we go through the submission process. So some new things, Marco, that came out of that are directed at serving the community in a different way. We have a track called Protecting Home and Family this year, which at first one can say, this is a professional event. Don't the professionals already know this? And you know what? No, the professionals could also get some. It's the shoemaker's children, right? What's some good advice for all of us to be implementing on our own home front, or setting us up to have that conversation over the back fence with a neighbor with, I'd really like some advice on XYZ. I'm really excited about that track. And I think our attendees are too, based on the reserve seat numbers that I've been reviewing right before this call. It will resonate. We're also bringing back our security foundations track, which again is like, isn't this an event that is created for people with quite a bit of experience in the industry? And the answer is, we serve people at all stages of their career, but we also find that many of those people who are even, very experienced in industry, there's topics that are new to them. There's topics they want a refresher on. There's topics they want to take a fabulous session created by this expert that's been reviewed multiple rounds by this program committee, and they want to give that to their teams back in the office to review, to learn from. So a lot of thought goes into the sessions that come to be. So those are some of the new things from a content standpoint. Linda, do you want to speak to maybe some of the other additional things happening across campus?
Yeah, I think I touched on a lot of the new stuff earlier.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have.
Oh, can
I
you
have
Raise
can you
hand,
still
raise
hear me?
hand.
raised
Yes.
hand. No, one of the things, and it's I always find this bringing not many, but certain groups of people together, communities together, the seminars and the summits. I'm a huge fan of the CSA Summit, Cloud Security Alliance. I know there's a FARA Summit. I'm a huge fan of OWASP. I know they have their AI Security Summit.
They
Is there
do.
anything you want to touch on from the summits? Because it seems like there are more seminars and summits too. I don't know.
I love you bringing that up. Again, we serve the whole community, and we have these great association partners who bring, some of them it's a half day of content, some it's a couple hours of content. You touched on some really, really great ones, and that's under their purview. They line up those speakers, they line up the content, and then we scatter it across the week at RSA conference. So it's a great way to enhance what you can take away, what you can attend. And so we've got a big event, we've got small events, we've got micro events, all these things that happen. And that's something we work really hard on as a planning team, is how can we serve the whole, but also serve the one, with what we're putting together. Additional to that, and something that's near and dear to me, Sean and Marco, is we also have a lot of closed door communities. And what's a closed door community, you ask? Fortune 1000 CISOs. This will be year 22 for that group with our ESAF program. Very important conversations that they can have, knowing they're in a trusted Chatham House rule community. We have a similar program for aspiring CISOs called CISO Bootcamp, Cyber Leaders Forum for small and mid-sized CISOs, EFG for the fraud leaders of organizations, ICSF for the top government officials. We have 45 countries represented this year. You can imagine the very important conversations that go on amongst those small groups. So we convene that at conference. We convene the seminars and such that you suggested. We've got the public track sessions. There's a lot of different things going on to try to meet all the different needs.
Yeah, and of course there's a lot of social events as well, and that's a big part of it, because I think
Absolutely.
connecting with your peers in a social setting is almost as important, just as important as the kind of formal content. So one reception that we've run for a couple of years now on the Sunday, so kind of to kickstart the week, is to bring people who have never been to the conference before, so people we affectionately call our first timers, with some of our Loyalty Plus attendees, so people who have been coming for years and years, because I think there's some real goodness in bringing these two audiences together. Just people can network with each other and pick up tips. We try and give our tips for how to have a successful conference. We run a webcast in advance for people who have never been before. I mean, and for other people too. But I think there's nothing that can beat getting together in person and breaking a bit of bread together and making new friends.
Absolutely. I want to give you also the opportunity, because we were updating our section of the website with all our coverage, where this actually is going to be, as well as other conversation. And we had an announcement a couple of days ago about the new community membership platform that you just launched as RSA conference. So I would love to hear a little bit about that. Who's going to get on that one?
Yeah. Britta, do you want to do it? Do you want me to go? Or do you want to do our usual tag team?
Do the thing.
Let's do it.
You're really good at that. So yeah.
Yeah. So we are really excited to announce this. And, for the past 18 months, the company has been growing and we've been working away on this. So we did announce this week the launch of our membership platform, which includes capabilities that will basically allow cyber and technology professionals to continuously learn and communicate and collaborate. It really is a community platform. So community, as you mentioned, Britta, is at the heart of everything we do. So it will be providing access to exclusive content. We have a dedicated cybersecurity AI co-pilot. That sounds very fancy. We have secure messaging and connections, which I think is going to be invaluable. And there's an opportunity to discuss trending and pressing topics in groups. So you almost have like little birds of a feather sessions within the membership platform. and of course staying up to date on everything that is going on in the industry as well. So these are all kind of features and functionality that are part of the app.
Yeah.
Don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, Britta.
Well, what I love about it, again, is we've all talked about, you're crossing a street, you run into, hey, I remember you from last year, or you sit next to someone, you engage in an interesting conversation. This gives you a way to have a persistent way to continue to engage, stay in touch with that person. If you hop on the platform right now, and I would highly recommend everyone out there right now, anyone can get into the preview trial, play around with the features that Linda was talking about, hop in some of the groups, ask a question, look at the answers that are coming back in, jump over to the library. You can take the presentations that, again, have been delivered, developed by these experts, and then, gone through by the program committee members to provide some feedback. You can generate mind maps out of that. You can generate slides out of that. You can generate summaries. So as we've spent this 18 months talking to the industry, what do you need? How do we help you supercharge your time? How do we help you better engage across your groups? These are the feature sets that bubbled up. It's a first release product. We look forward to iterating, continuing to make it better and better for the community. So play around with it. We'll be having a group that corresponds to the bulk of the sessions that will be out there during the week of conference. So you're sitting in there, you have a question, the speakers are going to go back. There'll be some conversations that will continue beyond the event and help all of us to do our jobs better.
Yeah, and I think it's just worth here just highlighting what the mission is of the conference, because all of this plays into it, whether it's RSAC conference, whether you're part of the membership, whether you're part of all of it. Our mission really, it's bold, but it's to unite and empower the world's cybersecurity community in order to create a safer society. And we're hoping that all of this will contribute to that. That's our goal.
And you're doing that this year with many voices, one community.
Yeah,
the theme
exactly.
of the conference.
The theme of the conference, yeah.
Linda, Britta, it's fantastic catching up with you. I'm sure we could talk forever. Is there anything else we didn't touch on before we want to wrap?
I think we covered it all.
We covered it all, and there will be more things that happen between now and when conference happens. It's all exciting. Lots of things moving as we try to work to serve the community the best we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to have our chat with Cecilia as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
thank you.
There'll be more conversation.
I look forward to catching up with you.
Yeah.
Always.
Absolutely. And,
I bring the cow interview back.
I was wondering when the cow tipping was going to come up, and if you have a picture of your pet cow or your pet horse, we can feature them in the rotation.
We might capture.
This is actually something this year. The past years we've been flying, or there because we're coming from different places. Or I was going to Europe after that. Well, this year we're driving, so everybody should pay attention because something crazy may happen on the road. It's not going to be
we get drunk silly when we spend too much.
We're really, really, really excited to be there. It's a very special moment for the community, and you said it beautifully, both of you. You can tell the excitement from your voice and the way you announced new thing, and yeah, it's unite, innovate, shine, one for all for one. By the Musketeers.
Yeah, it really feels like that. It really feels like that.
Yeah. Very cool. Sean, when is that?
When is it? You put
April
me on the spot
28th,
now. It's 28th through May 1st. There we go.
Moscone Center.
3 weeks on Monday.
And everything around it, not just the Moscone, everything around it.
The whole city, man.
The whole city. Next year on the
We're getting close to closing the streets off, I think. I feel that coming next.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. Street party.
We'll see.
All right. Well, everybody stay
close the
tuned.
streets. How's that?
That's right.
That's going to be tough in San Francisco. But everybody stay tuned. A lot of pre-event conversations. We're going to bring it to you. Everything is going to go on that page, Sean. What is itspmagazine.com/RSA conference?
RSAC. There we go.
RSAC. Yeah. Okay.
RSAC.
And
that's it.
Our URL for all our coverage. appreciate you both for joining us today, and also for all that you do, all that you have done for many, many years now, continuing to grow and learn and listen to the community and bring us all together. So I want to thank you for that, and including us to be part of it as well. So
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And thanks everybody for listening and watching. We appreciate you as well. We do this for you, and hopefully we get a chance to see you in San Francisco. Hugs all the way around for everybody.
Absolutely.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.